CBSE Board, Class 11, History, Chapter 1, Part 11, Audio by Renee Matthew. So most of the ancient systems that of the Roman Empire included, it was the agriculture of southern Mesopotamia. It was very important, it was gaining a prominent place in the history of the world, and it was really productive, and we saw that it was very prosperous also at the same time. Though the region did not have sufficient rainfall, it was really productive. And it is not just agriculture. Mesopotamian sheep and goat also grazed on the steppes, that is the grassland, the northeastern plains and the mountain slopes, and that is on tracks too high for the rivers to flood and fertilize. There the sheep and goat grazed, producing meat, milk, wool in abundance. Now a picture is given here. This is not the fossil fuels or remains of the sheep and goat, but it is a kind of architecture or some kind of small models which is made by human beings looking at the sheep which existed then. And I told you that species of sheep that we see now is very different from what we had then. So totally different. So these are small miniature models of what was seen then. So that is what they're trying to tell you. So fish was also available in the rivers, and date palms also grew because of the fertile soil and the irrigation facilities. And let us not, however, make the mistake of thinking that cities grew simply because of rural prosperity. It's not that many people started shifting from the other places and came here, and cities started growing because of rural prosperity. That is, villages were more in abundance, and it is because of the rural prosperity that cities also grew. No, that is not the finding made by the archaeologist. And we have to discuss each factor one by one, but first we have to be clear about the city life totally and then go further into it. Now the significance of urbanism. Urbanism is the cities which came about, and how did it actually help the people to go about. Cities and towns are not just places with large population. So just now they showed you in the previous slide, the first thing that we have to have in mind is rural prosperity did not lead to the development of cities, and cities and towns are not just places with large population. And when an economy develops in spheres, that is when there is a lot of progression in the economy other than food production, it becomes an advantage for people to cluster and just have permanent residence. That is the meaning of it. Economy is like a very big word where you have a lot of activities which is indulged into it. So when everything prospers, especially when the economy, small trade activities were also going on, when it prospers, food production also prospers. So it is like an advantage for people to cluster and have permanent residence. And urban economies comprise of food production, trade, manufacturers and services. Look at all the activities that is going on in the urban economy. It is a great combination of all these things which take place. And city people, they just stopped being self-sufficient. That is, they never had domestication now. It is like they were dependent on other products or services. For example, the trade which came from Iran and such kind of things, especially on the services of the city or village people, like how we are now. And there is a lot of interaction which takes place. When you do things on your own, when you are self-sufficient, when you have your own farms and things like that, interaction is less because you're able to provide for yourself, right? But now it is not like that. People started depending on each other. That is known as interdependence, societal principles. So there was a lot of interaction. For example, the carver of a stone seal, requires bronze tools for making the seal and all that, and he cannot make everything on his own. And the colored stones for the seals that he does not know where to get, like all these things, it is a combination of many things. For example, I told you about food production, trade, manufacturers, services. It's a big combination. Like, he did not know where to get these things, and his specialization is fine carving, not trading. So he will have to be dependent on so many things. He just knows to carve and not to get all these things. Like how many things are involved? Bronze tools, the colored stones, the color, everything is important, but he's only good in carving. So the bronze tool maker does not himself go out to get the metals, copper and tin. Besides, he needs regular supplies of charcoal for fuel. So he needs to get all these things, and that is done only with the interdependence of him on other people, right? So the division of labor is a mark of urban life. Just now I told you that interdependence and lot of activities were involved when people started depending on each other, and that is the reason for the growth of cities and not rural prosperity or rural population. You may think that because of so much of population and prosperity in the rural sides of Mesopotamia, people thought of, okay, one day we will build the city. It's not like that. It's because of interaction. And division of labor is also one particular discipline of the urban life. Further, there must be a social organization in place. So kind of society was built dependent on this, and this particular picture speaks for it. Fuel, metal, various stones, wood, etc. came from many different places for city manufacturers. Thus, organized trade and storage was very important. So all these things came from different places. So organization was falling in place. It's not that people thought, okay, we will start organizing things from today, and they put a term called organization. It just took place accidentally because of the necessity. Again and again, we have to remember that necessity is the mother of invention, that great proverb. And there are a lot of deliverers of grain and other food items from the villages, so they started interacting with the village people, and food supplies need to be stored and distributed, so they may have dependent on the potters, the potterers who made the earthenwares and all those pots and everything that you see. And many activities were going on astride because of coordination, and there must be not only stones but also bronze tools and pots available for seal cutters. So the seal cutter was a small example that we saw, but look at the number of people that he's trying to coordinate with. Look at the number of people that he's dependent on. Obviously, in such a system, some people gave commands that others obey. So, he was interdependent on so many people. And then what happened? When we depend on others, when we have an interaction with other people, what happens? It is like there develops a system where people will give orders. The powerful or the people who are more experienced will give orders, and the others will have to obey and abide by it. And urban economies often require the keeping of written records. So when commands were obeyed, when trade was going on, naturally people had to make use of written records, because if this particular lady is selling this goat to this man and he's giving a basket of fruits, there has to be some kind of record that she keeps to understand that, okay, I have done this trade on this particular day. Maybe the invention of calendars was not there at that time, but it is something where writing started. That is what they're trying to bring about, written records. So it was a kind of accidental discovery. Now this particular point is very important, the Varka head, and it is a great discovery. This woman's head was sculpted in white marble at Uruk, that is the excavation site, before 3000 BC. The eyes and the eyebrows would probably have taken lapis lazuli. It must have been blue, shell white and bitumen black inlays, respectively. Now there is a groove along the top of the head. Can you see this groove? Perhaps for an ornament. Okay, and it is something which was taken out. It was sculpted from some remains. And this is a world famous piece of sculpture admired for the delicate modeling of the woman's mouth, chin and cheeks, for the way it is carved. Maybe it is not going to fetch any kind of admiration in the present world, but it was so famous. Still it is very famous for the way it is sculpted, the eyebrows, the eyes and everything. And it was modeled in a hard stone, a very difficult stone where you can't even chisel and sculpt. Okay, so it is with lot of efficiency and efficacy that people have done it. And it would have been imported from a distance. This particular stone was imported from a distance, and it is not done in the present day. It was done by the early man, and it became so famous. It is something which is preserved in the museum. So beginning with the procurement of stone, list all the specialists who would be involved with the production of such a piece of sculpture. So you can do an activity here where how many people will be involved in the procurement of stone and such kind of things, because there's a lot of activity which is going on over here, just like how we saw about the zeal maker. So for the the sculpting of this particular stone, maybe there was a kind of trade system where the sculptor had to communicate and coordinate with people around the Mesopotamian region, and how many people he came into contact with and what he exactly did. All these things are very important. So you can make a list of how the activity was carried on in this trade and how things just went on. So Varka head is very important, and all these things that is being used here. For example, this is blue in color, the shell is white in color, and the bitumen black inlays. All these things have got detailing. So from then itself, man had the potential of sculpting, or you can say producing great sculptures, and with the things that were available. That is what you have to understand. With the available resources, they were able to do so many things. And there's a groove here, so you can also understand that women must have looked like this, or they must have used an ornament like this in those days.